Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. So, last time this year that we have 4 games on in one day. It'll be both National League Game 4s tomorrow, Mariners Tigers, Game 5 on Friday, and Saturday will be Game 5s for the NLDSs if they need them. So a lot of baseball today, a lot of stuff to talk about. I think some pretty good games today. That's pretty interesting results. So first of all, Detroit. They finally win in Detroit. Been about a month. I think it was like September 5th or something like that. Last time they won in Detroit. And yeah, they put up some runs and they pushed it to a Game 5. So we're going to start in the second inning. Mariners started this game off very well. Canzone had an RBI single in the second inning, making it 1-0. Robles had an RBI ground out in the fourth, making it 2-0. Raleigh had an RBI single in the fifth, making it 3-0. It'll be 3-0 halfway home. The Mariners fan that wore the Dump Here shirt, Dump number 62 here, came back today. Unfortunately, didn't get a home run ball like he did yesterday. And unfortunately for him, also, his favorite team lost. Dingler had an RBI double in the bottom of the fifth. This is where the Tigers started scoring. Jahmai Jones had an RBI double, or Jahmai Jones, I should say. I always call him Jahmai, but it's Jahmai, not Jahmai. Jahmai Jones had an RBI double. Hasn't gotten a lot of playing time this postseason. He had a couple of good games for the Tigers in September. That really stuck out to me because not a lot of Tigers had good games in September. That RBI double by Jones would make it 3-2. Baez had an RBI single time in the game at 3. Baez had a good game today. In the sixth inning, Riley Green hit a solo home run for the Tigers to take a 4-3 lead. McKinstry had an RBI single, making it 5-3. And then Javi Baez would hit a 2-run home run, making it 7-3. In the seventh inning, Gleyber Torres hit a home run, making it 8-3. In the eighth inning, Baez had an RBI fielder's choice, making it 9-3. Tigers' offense explodes. It's only a matter of time. Maybe they're not as good as they were in April and May, but they're certainly not as bad as they were in September. And the Tigers win this game 9-3 again. This is the first time in a really long time that they've won a game at home in Detroit. Baez was the first star. He was 2-for-4 with the home run and 4 RBIs. Gleyber was 2-for-3 with the home run, RBI, and intentional walk. Gleyber Torres, second star. Riley Green, I gave him the third star. There are a few guys who had more hits than him, but he had the go-ahead home run in the sixth inning. I kind of thought I had to go to him. He was only 1-for-4, but that one hit was a big hit, like I said. Home run and RBI. We go to Seattle on Friday for Game 5, and Skubal should be on the mound in the elimination game, but last year that didn't work out too well for the Tigers, and this year Jorge Polanco hit him for some home runs. I don't think Skubal was bad in Game 2 by any means, but the Mariners did win the Skubal start. Tigers offense just needs to score some runs, and I think they'll be able to go to the ALCS. And it'd be kind of crazy if the Tigers made it to the ALCS. It wouldn't have been crazy back in the early parts of the season, but based off of how they've been playing recently in September and October, I'd say, it'd be kind of crazy if this Tigers team that had one of the biggest collapses in baseball history, but somehow still made the playoffs, ended up making the ALCS. So we'll see. I know Mariners fans are prepared for a tough loss. They have had a lot of tough losses in their franchise history in the playoffs and usually before the playoffs also. But we'll see. Like I said, Game 5, win or go home for both sides. We'll see how that goes. 1 second. We'll be with the second game in just a moment. Welcome back. A lot of teams playing for their lives today. 4 teams. 3 of them won. Tigers, Cubs, then another team, as we'll find out in a little bit. One of them lost. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But the Cubs, must-win game. I don't think they played necessarily well today, but they played well enough to get the win. First inning. This is a series where both teams always score in the first inning. First inning scoring is crazy. This series, it was 6-1 after 1 in Game 1, 3-3 after 1 in Game 2, and 4-1 after 1 in this game. A drop pop-up would load the bases. This is a tough mistake for the Cubs. It ended up being a single because, it didn't hit anybody's glove. But a pop-up falls. And I'd say the Cubs got the best-case scenario. Frelick hit a sac fly, making it 1-0 Brewers. Bottom of the first, Michael Busch, solo home run, leadoff home run. Busch has been really good for the Cubs this year. Great acquisition by them, getting Busch from the Dodgers. Busch on the Dodgers, the Dodgers lineup is already good enough. But also he plays first mainly, I believe, and Freeman is already at first. But still a good bat. I'm sure they'd be able to find him a place somewhere. Pete Crow Armstrong had a 2 RBI single, making it 3-1. That's a big hit. Happ would score on a wild pitch, making it 4-1. It'd be 4-1 after 1. And that would be big because Jake Bauers hit an RBI single in the fourth inning, making it 4-2, and then Bauers again in the seventh inning. 4-3. Quinn Priester, who the Brewers were so good with for most of the season, they won 19 straight games when he started, I believe it was. He did not get out of the first inning. So that's not good for the Brewers. But it's still 2-1. They still have a commanding lead. They're going to come back tomorrow. I also wanted to mention Tucker got picked off. The Astros have struggled running the bases this year. And I guess former Astros here too, though it was not a good pickoff for Tucker. So yeah, the Cubs didn't play this game necessarily very well. It was a little sloppy on both sides of the ball, but pitching was good enough to get them the win. They win 4-3 after scoring all 4 runs in the first inning. The offense kind of just petered out after one also. The Cubs stay alive. That's what matters. I gave Bush the first star. He was 1-for-4 with a home run and an RBI. Bowers 2-for-4 with a home run and 2 RBIs. Carl Armstrong was 1-for-4 with a 2 RBI single. That was the third star. Quicker recap. This game had probably the least amount of action out of any game. But the Cubs offense struggling still, I would say. Had a big inning, but that's it. Their pitching was decent today, though, and that's what they're going to need because their offense, which was the main attraction for the Cubs entering the season, has not been up to par recently. And Tucker did have 2 hits, and I think it is a matter of time. If they could stay alive, it's a matter of time before the Cubs offense comes out of its shell. They still got a bunch of very talented hitters, but they're going to need to beat the Milwaukee Brewers a couple more games for us to see that, possibly. It is a matter of time until their offense wakes up, but they are running out of time. Cubs win 4-3. They and the Brewers will be playing tomorrow. Game 4. Brewers still got a commanding lead. They still need to win 1 game to punch their ticket to the NLCS. I don't know how many fans I have of this channel, but I would say that most of them are probably pretty happy about this result. Yankees and Blue Jays. As you can see, baseball I'm holding up. Michael Kay is not going to be pretty happy about this one. So in the first inning, Vlad Guerrero Jr. hit an RBI single, and I was planning on saying this whether or not the Yankees won this game or not. Vlad Guerrero Jr. owns the Yankees. Just absolutely insane performance in the ALDS. If there is an ALDS MVP, he would definitely be winning it. In the third inning, McMahon would tie the game for the Yankees. He did a solo home run, tying the game at 1. Fifth inning, George Springer, Yankees fans' favorite player ever, would hit a sacrifice fly, making it 2-1. But Nathan Lucas had the big 2 RBI single in the 7th, making it 4-1. Jazz had an error in the middle of that inning, Jazz Chisholm, which kept the inning alive and hurt the Yankees. And this is kind of a microcosm of the Yankees season. Their defense has been very bad. I don't know how, I didn't watch the entire game. I don't know how many if there are any base running mistakes for the Yankees, but they don't play good fundamental baseball. And if you have a team like the Blue Jays, who have put up now 13, I believe it was, plus 7, 26, 31 runs in 4 games, I believe, you're going to need to play some good fundamental baseball to beat them. And the Yankees, tough air for Jazz, and could have been a big difference in this game. Straw, another former Astro. Blue Jays always have the former Astros. Straw would hit an RBI single in the 8th inning, making it 5-1. Judge hit an RBI single in the 9th inning, making it 5-2. Blue Jays had a bullpen game, and it was a little bit scary all the time. Blue Jays bullpen has struggled at points this year, and again, the Yankees got a good offense. But Jeff Hoffman was able to close the door. The Blue Jays win 5-2. Kim Schlittler today, I'm sure a lot of people are curious about him. 6 2/3, 8 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, because again, in that Jazz era, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Not a terrible outing for him. Obviously, it wasn't as good as the last one. But the Yankees are unable to keep the series alive. Blue Jays eliminate them. Blue Jays are going to the ALCS for the first time since 2016. They win 5-2. It was a very difficult roster, very bad roster construction for the Yankees. We'll see what they do this offseason. They definitely have enough money to spend this offseason. But it's definitely disappointing. There were times this year where it looked like the Yankees were going to collapse and miss the playoffs. There were times where it looked like they were the only good team in the American League, or the only team that would be worth making the World Series. But the Blue Jays, this series showed they got a good offense. Their pitching's a little iffy, I would say, but they got a good offense, and they can power their way to wins. And after the game was over, Vladdy Jr. and David Ortiz both did the Yankees lose that David Ortiz does all the time after the Yankees lose. Vlad Guerrero Jr. got in on that. 2 guys there who hate the Yankees, like most of us. Some weird stars here. I gave the first star to Lucas. That wasn't really weird. Nathan Lucas, 2 for 5 with a double, 2 RBIs. And then no RBIs for the second and third. I gave it to Barger for the second star. He had a 3-hit game. He was 3 for 5 with a double. Didn't score any runs, which is kind of odd. Clement was 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored. He was the third starter. Ernie Clement had a great series. Vlad Guerrero Jr. had a great series. A lot of Blue Jays, had great series. And they'll either be playing the Mariners or the Tigers. This is the first time since 2016 that the Yankees and the Astros will not play in the ALCS. Neither team made it in 2016. As you know, the Astros made the ALCS every year from 2017 to 2023. Yankees made it last year, and Yankees made it in 2022, 2019, and 2017. But some new parity, which I didn't think there was ever a parity issue with baseball, unlike what some people want to say. I mean, hey, we'll see if the Dodgers are able to repeat as World Series champions this year. But some more parity for people to enjoy. No Astros, no Yankees in the American League Championship Series. Those fan bases are disappointed, but a lot of baseball are not. So Blue Jays and the Mariners or Tigers will play each other in the American League's Championship Series. We got one more game to talk about. No baseball for that one, but I'll be there in just a second. Phillies offense. So, Phillies offense came alive today. And it was only a matter of time. I will say that there are a lot of pitchers that are going to be available tomorrow, I should say, for the Dodgers. Mike Snell is apparently, I think he's not available this game. I think he might be available tomorrow. They're mixing and matching. Glasnow will be also. Dodgers have a bunch of really good pitchers. But the Phillies offense was always going to wake up at some point. They do have some good players, and it's kind of what I was trying to say about the Cubs offense, is that the Cubs offense is going to wake up. They're running out of time. The Phillies are running out of time also, but they put up 8 runs today, and they keep their season going another day. So in the third inning, Edman hit a home run, making it 1-0, but it'll be mostly Phillies after that. Schwarber, again, another guy who's just too good to stay cold as long as he has. Schwarber hit a home run, tying the game at 1. Bohm hit a single. An error by Pages would allow a run to score, making it 2-1. I had to check something on my stars card. March had a sac fly, making it 3-1. Yamamoto kind of struggled. He only gave up 3 runs in 4 innings. Definitely not the Yamamoto that we expected to see. And it would be 3-1 for a while, but in the 8th inning, Kershaw would not look very good. Remuto hit a home run, making it 4-1. Turner had a 2 RBI single. Schwarber had a 2-run home run. Both Yamamoto and Kershaw struggle. Edman hit an RBI single in the 9th inning. He had both RBIs for not the Dodgers. Yes, the Dodgers. I almost said the Blue Jays. I'm all mixed up today. He had both RBIs for the Dodgers today, but it would be all for naught. Dodgers lose 8-2 to the Phillies. Phillies keep their season going another day. It's going to be really, really tough to come back 2-0 against this Dodgers team. The Phillies, I think they got some good enough pitching to do it. They probably should have won the first game with Christopher Sanchez on the mound. A couple of bad mistakes by them caused them to lose that game, in my opinion. But, of course, it doesn't matter. Dodgers won no matter what. And it's 2-1 right now. Phillies are down but not out. We'll have to see what happens. Whoever's going to play in the National League Championship Series still very up for grabs. Schwarber was the first start, 2 for 4, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and a walk. Suarez, 5 innings out of the bullpen. Nola started, had a couple of good innings. Suarez gave up that home run to Edman, but that would be it. 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Trey Turner was 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs. And Turner, Schwarber, Harper had 2 hits. I didn't get to mention him, but Harper had 2 hits also. These guys are too good to be in a slump for the Phillies for this long. They struggled in the playoffs last year. They struggled against the Diamondbacks to finish off 2023. Like I said, this team's too good to struggle for this long, but a 2-0 deficit for the Dodgers is almost always going to be a series win for the Dodgers. A 2-0 deficit to the Dodgers for the other team. You know what I'm trying to say. So it is going to be tough for them to come back. I'm not sure who's starting tomorrow yet, but we got some National League Divisional Series tomorrow. I believe Phillies and Dodgers are the early one, actually. I think it's at 5:08, which is kind of surprising. You'd think the Dodgers would be in prime time, and then the Cubs would be at 8:08, Cubs and Brewers. I'll talk to you then. Some good baseball today. I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and I hope you all catch me again tomorrow for another video. Goodbye.